Welcome to Barefoot in America. Today we're filming at sunrise from San Antonio, Texas, at the McAllister Park near the airport. Today we're going to focus on hip openers, and these are going to be just a little bit more challenging, a little bit more advanced than the seated hip openers we filmed yesterday. So I'm going to invite you to start in standing today. Find your best standing posture, feet hips width apart, right under the pelvis, or bring your big toe knuckles together, stand in Tadasana. Take a moment to just root into your feet, rise in your spine, close your eyes, hands at heart, connecting with your breath. And as you start to focus on the inhale and the exhale, take a moment to set an intention for your yoga practice today. And state that intention in a positive way as though it is already so. Take just another round of breath or two, really settling into this very moment. Relax your arms, take your feet about hips width apart, and just take a moment to loosen your hips with some pelvic circles, bringing your pelvis to the side, forward, other side, and back. Just rotating a few times. Just creating a little warmth and movement in our body before we get into the stretches. And then reverse your circles, take it the other way. Pause. From the top of your mat, take your hands down by your sides, shine your palms forward. Arms could be at a 45-degree angle or straight out to the side. Float the arms up and overhead. Reach nice and long. Exhale, hinge from your hips, bending from your hips, a flat back until the tightness in the hamstrings forces you to round forward and bow. Maybe a micro bend in your knees. If you have blocks, have them right here today. This is a practice where 2 blocks would be great. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to a fold. Soften the hips and knees, lift the head and the heart, float the arms all the way back up. Hands connect at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms down and out and float them overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips, dive forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more, just like that. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Take your left foot back, 45-degree angle of the toes. Right leg is straight. We're going to hinge from our hips with a straight right and left leg. They create a tripod underneath of us. Hinging from your hips, hands come to the blocks. Just a gentle variation of runner stretch. Keep lengthening your spine. Root the feet, straight, strong legs, pelvis is square. Bend your right knee, float the arms up in front of you. Sink into warrior one, and if you want to shimmy your feet a little wider apart front to back, shimmy that foot forward and sink in. And then we're just going to add a little bit of movement here. Exhale, come forward to runner stretch as you straighten the leg, hinge, and then bend the knee, float back up. Straighten the leg, really press through the foot as you start to hinge. Bend the knee, come back up. And straighten the leg, hinge from the hip. Bend the knee, float back up. Bring your hands to your heart. Step your left foot forward, step your right foot back. 45-degree angle. Maybe hands on your pelvis to help you really keep it square to the top of the mat. The back foot's at a 45-degree angle, toes pointed kind of up and forward, or out and forward, I should say. Hinge from your hip, a long straight spine, bending from your hip joints. Hands find the blocks, maybe fingertips, maybe flat hands. Both legs as straight as you can maintain them. Take a breath or two right here in the runner stretch. And next, bend the left knee. Sink into it, float the arms up in front of you. Warrior one. Pressing through the right heel, sinking into the left knee. Inner thighs hug the midline to keep the pelvis square. Exhale, straighten the left leg, hinge forward. Inhale, bend the left knee, float the arms up. Exhale, straighten the left leg, hinge forward. Bend the left knee, inhale, float it up. And exhale, straighten the left leg, hinge forward. Bend the left knee, float it up. Hands to heart, step your right foot forward. Inhale your arms down and out and overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, full giant step your left foot back, high lunge. The ball of the foot finds the mat. The heel is stacking right over the ball of the foot, sinking into the front knee. Two blocks are great here. Really lift your heart, lengthen your spine, press out of the left heel, feel the stretch. And now lower the left knee to the ground, float the arms up. Sink in nice and deeply to your right knee, feeling the stretch in the left hip flexor. Breathe nice and deeply, keep lifting, pulling the belly in, maybe some back extension. Exhale, hands back down to your blocks. Walk your blocks back a bit and now straighten the front leg. It's a hamstring stretch, a variation of Hanuman. So flex your toes towards your nose, a straight right leg, and if you want to slide it forward, coming towards the splits posture, you can. But really take the time to meet yourself right where you are. You don't have to go far. And if you want more hamstring stretch, simply hinge forward from your hips, leaning towards the right leg. And now get this right leg in a place where you can rock back and forth. We're going to bend the right knee, float the arms up, lower the hands, straighten the right knee, bend towards it. Bend the right knee, float the arms up, straighten the right knee, bend forward towards it. Bend the right knee, float the arms up. And exhale, hands down to the blocks, straighten the right knee, hinge towards it. Hold for 3 deep breaths. Find the edge of your stretch, make any adjustments that might feel good to you. And then plant your right foot on the mat. Tuck your left toes, straighten your left knee, and step the left foot forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Stand tall in mountain. And just feel the sensations right to left leg. And knowing you opened up your right hamstring, your left hip flexor. See if you can sense that in your body. And here we go, the other side. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Giant step, right foot back. High lunge. The ball of the foot finds the mat. The heel right over the ball of the foot. Sinking into the left knee, pressing through the right heel. Hands on blocks to help you lift your heart. If the flexibility is there, you could have your hands on the ground, but do your best to keep lifting your heart, finding that long line of energy. Gently set the right knee down. Inhale, float the arms up. Sink a little deeper into the left knee, pull the belly in, top of the right foot presses to the mat, lift your heart, feel the shape and space you're creating. Exhale the hands back down to the blocks. And now straighten the left leg in front of you. You might want to slide forward a little bit into that splits type motion. And once you've maximized how far you want to slide forward, that's when it's time to start to hinge forward from the hips towards the left leg. Never forcing anything, just finding your edge. Breathe into the shape. Next, we're going to add that flow. So get your left foot where it's planted. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, hands come down, straighten the left leg, hinge towards it. Bend your left knee, float the arms up, low lunge. Exhale, hands to the blocks, straighten the left leg, hinge towards the left knee. Bend the left knee, float the arms up. Lower the hands down, straighten the left leg, hinging towards it. Here we really try to maintain a really long spine. Set the left foot back down, tuck your right toes, step your right foot forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, giant step your left foot back, high lunge. Again, pause there, sinking into the right knee, pressing into the left heel, lifting your heart, creating that line of energy. Set your left knee down in the mat. Scoot your right foot to the right side of the mat. Both blocks now on the inside of the right knee. We're going towards a really low lunge, lizard lunge. So you're going to sink into the right knee as you let your left leg slide back. For some folks, tall blocks are really helpful. You can come down onto your elbows and really root the right big toe knuckle. The goal is to keep the right knee over the ankle. Sinking into lizard lunge. Keep sliding the left leg back, right knee stacked over the ankle, lifting your heart. And if you have the flexibility and you want to go lower, take one of those blocks away. Take it lower. And some folks can get all the way to the ground, and that's great. Just meet yourself right where you are. A deep, deep hip opener. Give it a couple more deep breaths. And using the blocks to help you shift your weight, come on up. Center the right foot, blocks on either side. Shift your weight to your right foot, left toes. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, stand tall in mountain. Inhale your arms down and out and float them overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, giant step right foot back, high lunge. Really sink into the front knee. Press through the back heel, starting to open the hip on the left posterior aspect, the right anterior aspect. And then eventually set the right knee down. Left foot shimmies to the left side of the mat, blocks are on the inside. If this is enough stretch for you, stay right here. If you want more, the right leg slides back a little bit, and maybe start with tall blocks, hinging forward. Really ground your left big toe knuckle. And when I first started doing this practice, I often would wrap this arm around the knee because it wanted to flare out so much. So just helping to keep the knee right over the ankle. Keep sinking into it, and you decide if it's okay to go further. The goal is really to maintain a long spine. And if you have to compromise your spinal alignment and bend a lot, that's when it's too much. So definitely keep lengthening your spine and see if you can sink a little lower, or if you know you're right where you need to be. And then if you want to come all the way to the mat, if that flexibility is available to you, great. And if you're someone who's hyper flexible and get here easily, really remember the alignment, the knee over the ankle, melting the right hip to the earth, lifting the heart, lengthening your spine. Take a few deep breaths there in your lizard lunge. And then blocks are great props. They're great tools. Just push through tall blocks. Get the left foot on the inside between the two blocks. Shift your weight to the left foot. Tuck the right toes and step it forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale your arms down and out and overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Hands to the ground. Just melt to the earth for a moment here. Let the head simply dangle. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs, and maybe even give them a little bit of a massage. We're starting to wind it down. Yep, just that sensory integration that happens through touch. Melt forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. And now take your feet as wide as the mat. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Wide-legged forward fold or medium to wide legs. Hang out in it for a moment. Turn your toes out just a notch. We're going to come into Malasana. So for some folks, just getting down in this like catcher squat position is plenty. So if that's you, everyone can go here for a moment. It's a great place to build strength in your legs, and we're starting to open up the hips. For some folks, they can't get all the way down to Malasana, so I'll suggest a tall block right under the seat. So you can try that, and then hands come to prayer, and you're kind of sitting on a perch. And if the flexibility is there for you, you can take the block away, sink your bum to the earth, elbows on the inside of the knees, hands at the heart, knees squeeze the elbows, elbows squeeze the knees, lengthen the spine, and just let yourself be in the deep, deep squat of Malasana, goddess posture. Stay for just 3 deep breaths. And if you're in catcher squat and it's too much, just find your way back to that forward fold. And from here, everyone come down to your bottom, sitting on the mat. Get there how you need to. And then lower yourself all the way down to your back. Take a moment to bend your knees, lift your hips in a bridge to set yourself down in the center. And then lower your legs down one at a time. Arms resting at your side, palms up for Savasana, final resting posture. Feel yourself melting into the earth beneath you. Feel your legs, what you've stretched and opened. And give yourself as much time as you need in Savasana today. I'm going to wind down the practice here, but please stay lying down as long as you have the time today. Recommended 5-10 minutes for Savasana. Give yourself that space and time. And I thank you for joining me on the mat today, taking the time to open your hips through some standing postures, building some strength and flexibility in your body with mindfulness, awareness, honoring yourself. Wishing you a beautiful day. From my heart to yours, namaste.